Good night, everybody. So, yesterday we talked about, we talked about the image of God, reputation, and we started off talking about a pretty good topic when we started talking about the fighting aspect of it. So, we're going to read this, and then we may walk back through it, talk about a few things, but we're going to be reading from 2 Samuel 23. 2 Samuel 23 is where we're going to start. Most likely that's where we're going to finish too, but definitely 2 Samuel 23. So we're not going to read we're going to start off at verse 8. 2 Samuel 23, 8. 2 Samuel 23:8. So it says, "These be the names of the mighty men whom David had. The Tachmonite that sat on the seat, chief among the captains. The same was Adonai the Eznite. He lifted up his spear against 800, whom he slew at one time. And after him was Eleazar the son of Dodo the Ahohite, one of the three mighty men with David. When they defied the Philistines that were gathered together to battle, and the men of Israel were gone away, he arose and smote the Philistines until his hand was weary, and his hand clave unto the sword. And the Lord wrought a great victory that day. And the people returned after him only to spoil. And after him was Shammah the son of Agi the Hararite. And the Philistines were gathered together into a troop, where was a piece of ground full of lentils, and the people fled from the Philistines. But he stood in the midst of the ground and defended it, and slew the Philistines. And the Lord wrought a great victory. And the 3 of the 30 chief went down and came to David in the harvest time into the cave of Adullam. And the troop of the Philistines pitched in the valley of Rephaim. David was then in hold, and the garrison of the Philistines was then in Bethlehem. And David longed and said, "Oh, that one would give me drink of the water of the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate." And the 3 mighty men brake through the host of the Philistines, and drew water out of the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and took it, and brought it to David. Nevertheless he would not drink thereof, but poured it out unto the Lord. And he said, "Be it far from me, O Lord, that I should do this. Is not this the blood of the men that went in jeopardy of their lives?" Therefore he would not drink it. These things did these 3 mighty men. And Abishai the brother of Joab, the son of Zeruiah, was chief among 3. And he lifted up his spear against 300, and slew them, and had the name among 3. Was he not most honorable of 3? Therefore he was their captain. Howbeit he attained not unto the first 3. And Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, the son of a valiant man of Kabzeel, who had done many acts, he slew 2 lion-like men of Moab. And he went down also and slew a lion in the midst of a pit in time of snow. And he slew an Egyptian, a goodly man, and the Egyptian had a spear in his hand, but he went down to him with the staff, and plucked the spear out of the Egyptian's hand, and slew him with his own spear. And these things did Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and had the name among three mighty men. He was more honorable than the 30, but he attained not to the first 3, and David set him over his guard. Asahel the brother of Joab was one of the 30. Elhanan the son of Dodo of Bethlehem, Shammah the Harodite, Elika the Harodite, Helez the Paltite, Ira the son of Ikish the Tekoite, Abiezer the Anathothite, Mebunai, I don't know how to say that, the Hushathite, Zalman the Ahohite, Maharai the Netophathite, Heleb the son of Baana and Netophathite, Ittai the son of Rabbi out of Gibeah of the children of Benjamin, Benaiah the Pirathonite, Hiddai of the brooks of Gaash, Abi Alban the Arbathite, Asmaveth the Barhumite, Eliahaba the Shaalbanite of the sons of Jashan, Jonathan, Shammah the Hararite, Ahiam the son of Sherar the Hararite, Eliphalet the son of Ahasbai the son of the Meakathite, Eliam the son of Ahithophel the Gileonite, Hezrai the Carmelite, Pearai the Arbite, Egal the son of Nathan of Zobah, Bani the Gittite, Zelek the Ammonite, Naharai the Beerothite, Umber to Joab the son of Zeruiah, Ira in Ithrite, Gareb in Ithrite, Uriah the Hittite, 30 and 7 in all. So in this, we're talking about war. We're talking about war. So you got the first guy it talks about was Adino. This guy Adino, he had a spear. He had a spear, and with his spear, he killed 800 men by himself. By himself, he killed 800 men with just a spear, and he lived to tell the tale. So he didn't die in the process. He didn't take out 800 on his way out. He killed 800 people, and he left the scene, or, whatever happened after that. He didn't die. He wasn't killed, So this guy was a good fighter. Now, if you think of, and now when we put this into our spiritual terms, fighting like this when all of the odds are against you. So for this guy, all of the odds were against him. He's outnumbered. He's immensely outnumbered. I mean, 800 guys. Can you imagine that? 800 guys running at you, trying to kill you, and you have a spear, not even a sword. He has a spear, and we know how hard, that is to, you got to be able to weave that thing around, move it around, maneuver it. You have to. Because, that somebody could grab it and then stab you with it. So you got to imagine how quick and how much stamina this guy had. Most people don't even want to fight spiritual fights. They don't even want to put forth the effort to fight. Most people don't want to put forth the effort. They don't want to put it forth. And if they do put it forth, they don't want to have to put forth as much effort. So they don't want to fight until they win. They expect God to fight their battles until winning, but they don't want to help fight. They don't want to put their, part in. They don't want to help fight. They don't want to fight until, power is given, until, freedom is brought. They don't want to fight for that long. They think, they should be able to just say, I rebuke you, and everything just respond just because you said that. No, you're going to have to put some effort into that. You're going to have to put some effort behind that, and people don't like putting forth effort. That's why when you give out the term free money, or, you catch people's attention when it's free, because why? Why does that catch people's attention? Because people want to find the secrets of life. People want to be able to get good things, nice things, without having to pay or work for it. And because people are like that, God can't bless that. He can't. Because if you're not willing to put forth effort, if you're not willing to work, if you're not willing to pay, then you're not going to see what you want to see, and you're not going to get what you want to get. So what if this guy, Adino, what if he, after the 30th guy, man, I'm tired. After the 100th guy, nah, I can't do this. He was at, okay, that was the 100th guy killed. Okay, that was the 150th. Okay, now that was the 400th guy. And these guys, they just keep coming at him, and he has to fight them. And in his mind, I'm going to fight them until I win or until one of them kill me. That's how it's going to be. And he kept going. He kept going until a victory was won. And so in our day and age, people don't like to work for things, and if we were to all be honest, you can be honest and say hey man, I don't like working for anything either. None of us like having to work for stuff. If you could just get paid for doing nothing, that's why all these apps we pay you for just walking. Oh really? Yeah, or we pay you for just this, or we pay you for just taking surveys. All of that stuff sounds fascinating. What? Let me get in on this app. Let me take that $750 Cash App, survey, which it doesn't work for me. Actually, I've tried that thing 3 times. It doesn't work. But people want to take the Cash App survey to get money. No, go work for it. Go get that. And one thing about God is, he's gonna, yes, you're when you first get saved, yes, you're a child. But once you begin to age, okay, what do you want? Lord, I want this. I want this level of freedom. Oh, okay. Can you give it to me, Lord? Yeah, I'll give it to you. So you see that guy right there, that demon right there? He has your freedom. Go get it from him. Lord, I don't want to. How am I supposed to get it from him? Here, take this sword, take this shield, this breastplate, this helmet, this belt, this, these shoes, this shield. Take this and go fight him for it. Go fight him, but he's big. Yeah, go fight him and take that freedom from him. Most people don't want to. They don't want to fight. Man, I don't want to fight. And people, I don't understand. So back in old times, war did not last for weeks. War lasted You know, the war didn't last for a few days. War didn't last for a few hours. War was like, when you're talking about two countries fighting, the wars like that could go on for years, months and years. Wars like that could be fought. I mean, my goodness, you got the Revolutionary War. That wasn't won overnight. They had to fight for that, and that took years. The one war, what is it? Hitler, forgot his name. Forgot the war. Oh, World War I and II. Those wars weren't fought over the course of days. That took years for a victor to be formed. That took years. So people feel like, man, I just became a Christian. How come I still do these things? How come I'm not winning in this area? Well, you have to fight for deliverance. Like, okay, I am fighting. I worship. You have to do that every day. You have to pray every day. You have to, go in every day. You have to preach every day. You have to do this every single day until you're free. In the regular world, wars don't last for a few days. They don't last for a few seconds. They don't last for a few hours. No. You're going to fight, and then you're going to leave the battlefield, whoever won that specific battle. Because in war, you have battles. And the more battles you overcome, that's the closer you're getting to overcoming the war. Now, if you are losing in these battles and these, in certain times in war, they'll do these things where, like, okay, your guy versus my guy. They do stuff like that. If you're losing in this kinds of stuff, like, you lost that battle, like, yeah, I lost that battle and this battle, like, you can't be losing all of these battles and expect to win the war. You can't. You have to be winning battles in order to win the war. So yeah, your freedom isn't going to come overnight. Your freedom isn't going to come because you were just at church one time and it just happened. No, you're going to be fighting for that. And now for some people, yes, it can come in a matter of days, weeks. But usually, like, man, this person, I struggled with this. I was freed on my third year of salvation. Like, it took you 3 years to get free from that? Like, yeah, I was delivered 3 years. I had to fight for that. That's war. Yes. And I got some scrapes and scars and bruises, but I won. I beat the other guy. Like, I beat him. Like, I beat him. And now I'm the victor. I am no longer bound to that level of sin anymore. No, I won that. And this level of sin, oh, you're bound to this? Well, let's fight together. And because you have, influence and knowledge on fighting and spiritual warfare, you can help this guy. You can help him because, he doesn't know. He's new to this, but you know. So, the life of a Christian isn't supposed to be one of, okay, and you may have fought. Okay, man, I was delivered from this year 2 or year 3 or year 4. Man, thank God I'm saved. All right, I don't do that no more. So now what am I supposed to do? Okay, well, I got freedom, so what do I do with it now? I'm going to just put it on the shelf and admire it, every now and then, like, just to give God some glory. Like, no. You're supposed to take that freedom, like, oh, I got freedom. Man, Lord, that guy does this. And the Lord's like, yeah, he does do that. You used to do that. Like, yeah, Lord, but I got this trophy. This is freedom. And it's also a weapon. But he's bound to that. And the Lord's like, yeah, he is. Go free him. Like, I can go free him. And the Lord says, go free him. And you take your freedom and you use your freedom to free others. Like, yeah. And then you got that guy free. Like, oh, Lord, now he's free. I'm like, yeah, okay. And that's supposed to be your life. Your life is supposed to be filled with I hate to use this term, but your life is supposed to be filled as a Christian with bloodshed. Now, you may not like the sound of that. You may think, man, when I get saved, I want to relax and, sing happy songs and about how Jesus died on the cross for me, and I want to go to church where, they let my kids watch Frozen in the back room, and, and where we, on Sunday mornings, right after worship, we talk about the new building project, and Saturday nights is movie night, and, we collect offering like 10 times, and, the message is only 2 seconds long. All the pastor says is God is, and then, service is over. And, every single time, he steps on the stage, he's asking for offering. That's how I really want things. I don't want my life to be filled with bloodshed. And that may be the weird fairy tale that you have. But as a real Christian, your life is going to be filled with bloodshed, And I hate to say it, either yours or your enemies. Mind you, a soldier, every battle of the warriors with confused noise, garments rolled in blood. So yes, you're going to have blood on your clothes. Like, I have blood on my clothes. But you're still alive, so it can't be necessarily your blood. I mean, you got some cuts and stuff like that. But, you're not dead. So whose blood is on you? The blood of my enemies. Like, wow. And that's going to be your life until Christ comes back. Until Jesus Christ comes, that's going to be your life. You're going to be, you're supposed to be out there getting blood on your clothes, getting blood on your sword. You're supposed to be wetting your sword in the blood of your enemies. That's what you're supposed to be doing. But, why do people even get distracted? Well, because they're not out there fighting. If David was at war like he should have been, he wouldn't have been there to see Bathsheba and then sin with her. Like, yeah. And in my case, for me, I'm a young man. I understand, I understand. People are lustful and they want to make excuses for it. But that's fine. If you do you. You only live once. I mean, like, you want to go and be with Shaniqua and, Kanisha and Rodrika. You want to be like, man, you can only get this once. Like, yeah, go do you. As for me, if I'm busy doing the work, I don't have time to think about all other things. Yes, don't question anything about me. I have hormones. I am 15. Like, I'm literally in my teenage prime. Like, 15, that's like your teenage prime. I think. I don't know. But I'm there, like, and guess what? I see my world through weird eyes, too. Like, man, you may feel like you're the only one who, when you see the opposite gender, your eyes go to places it shouldn't. You're not the only one. Now, in my case, my eyes don't, because I know how to control myself. But at one point, I was bound to looking at what you look at too. There's really no difference between me and you other than that of I'm free and I fight for freedom. You're not. You know who you are. If you are free, you got to fight to stay free. So you're never done fighting. As a Christian, you may fight and get freedom. Like, oh, I got it from that one guy, Lord. Him right there. I got the freedom. And Lord's like, yeah, good. And then the guy shows up the next day knocking at your door like, hey, let's fight. And you're like, hold on. No, I already won. I don't want to fight. And Satan's going to constantly be fighting you because he wants that freedom. He wants to take your freedom from you. So even after you get it, you need grace to maintain it because he's going to be back at your door like, hey, I want to fight again. Like, man, I didn't hurt you, good enough the first time. Like, no, you didn't. And you're like, okay. And if as a soldier, like, well, all right, let's fight. And then you fight. And you're like, okay, you fight. You may hurt him worse this time. So now it's going to be like a few days before he shows up again to fight with you. But then he's going to show back up. He's consistent and he's persistent. Like, they're going to fight with you for what you have. So even after you win, you need grace to maintain your freedom. Maintaining doesn't just mean fighting. Maintaining also means taking care of. Just like when you get a car. You may have, when you get a car to make payments on, you get the car. Oh, okay, I got the car. Man, okay, yes, now you have to pay for that car. You have to pay every single month for that car. And while you're paying every single month, you also have to take care of it. That means driving it right, stopping at the red lights, going at the green lights, slowing down at the yellow lights, keeping up with the fluids in your car. You have to do that. You have to maintain that car. It's the same with your freedom. Yes, I paid, that. Now you have to pay for the rest of your life fighting for your freedom. Fighting every single day. Every single day you have to fight for your freedom. Every day. Some days are going to be easier. Some days are going to be harder. You have to fight every single day for that freedom. That's your payments. That's your monthly payments by fighting every day. And you also have to take care of it. You have to take care of it. How do you take care of it? By praying. How do you keep that? Pray. Spend time with God. If you're busy out there taking care of your freedom and fighting for freedom and fighting for other things, then you're not And, you know, you're not even going to be thinking about other things. You know, when people say, like, you know, I'm not trying to say anything weird. Hopefully people understand what I'm saying. So, you know, when I find out, like, personally, in my mind, I think the Lord has given me this way of thinking for a season just to keep me focused. But when it comes down to marriage, to me, so the Word of God does say marriage is honorable. That. But for me, yes, there may be aspects of my character that desire it. But another part of me, you know, and I'm not going to say it's the spiritual part of me. Because to be honest, it's not necessarily spiritual. It's more of an image that I'm trying to keep. So, for me, in my mind, I feel like, man, I can't get married. Why? Well, because then people are going to think that I'm weak. That's just how I feel. Like, if you get married, you're weak. That's just in my mind. And I accept that it's true. And right now, the Lord is allowing me to have that in my mind. Like Sam, if you get married, that's because you're weak. For right now, that's good enough for me. Like, if you get married, it's because you're weak. Like, I don't want to be viewed as weak. Man, if you get married, the brother's going to think you're weak. Brother David's going to think you're weak. You know, they're all going to think you're weak. They're going to tell you, like, man, you're weak. You couldn't control yourself. You're weak. And so that's how I feel. And because I'm afraid of that, that's another reason why I obey. Because I'm afraid, like, man, God's going to think that I'm weak. The angels are going to think that I'm weak. The good ones and the bad ones. Nature's going to respond to me as if I'm weak. Like, man, only weak people get married. That's just in my mind. And I know that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. You know, some people, the Lord's like, hey, it's time for you to do this. You know, but most of the time, it's because people cannot control themselves. So that's why they get married. Or, you know, they may set a date of, okay, we're going to get married at this time, but then get married earlier. Like, I just couldn't hold it. I just didn't want to sin. Like, I understand, and you may say whatever you want to say, but hopefully you understand. For me, that's how the Lord at this point is keeping me focused. By like, hey, do you want to be looked at as weak? Like, no, I don't want to be looked at as weak. All right. Well, you better fight that. Like, okay. I don't want people to say I'm weak. My parents are going to think I'm weak. My sisters are going to think that I'm weak. My brothers and sisters in the Lord are going to think that I'm weak. You know, God's going to think, like, I don't want people to think that I'm weak. And that's how God keeps my eyes on Him. Like, yeah, now I want you to do this, do that, do this, do that. You know, because you don't want to be weak, right? Like, right. And for right now, that's helping me. But if you're busy doing the work, you don't even have time to worry about sin. And sin is not just that. Sin is also, man, you know, you end up like scrolling. You know, like, man, wow. Oh, that post is funny, man. That's crazy right there, man. Oh my goodness. Wow. And then before you know it, like, man, it's been an hour. It's been 30 minutes. It's been an hour, 30 minutes. It's been 2 hours. It's been 3 hours already. Like, yeah. And now you're like completely in the flesh because of what you've exposed yourself to. You are completely in the flesh. Completely in the flesh. Like, man, how did I get here? Well, because you weren't doing what you were supposed to be doing. You weren't. So this matter of fighting until you win is something that cannot be forgotten. You fight until you win. Like, I'm going to fight. I don't care how long I have to fight, how hard I have to fight. You know, it doesn't matter. I'm going to put forth the necessary effort to see Jesus Christ manifested in the earth. I'm going to put forth the effort to do that, to see that. You know, but like I said, if you're not even busy, you know, fighting or working, you're going to be distracted by all kinds of things. Like, literally all kinds of things. You're going to be distracted. You're going to be distracted. So, you know, let me see. Yeah, so it's about that time. So, we're going to read the rest of this. We're going to go through the rest of this hopefully tomorrow. We're not going to go through it all tonight, even though it's juicy. But I do want you to know that if you're not busy fighting, you're busy doing something else. If you're not building the kingdom or doing something else that the Lord wants you to do, which every time you obey, you're building His kingdom. If you're not obeying, you're doing something else. You're doing something else. Something else. And we don't want to be doing that. So, holiness, faithfulness, strive to enter in. Strive to enter in. So, I love you all, and God willing, we'll talk within the next 24 to 48 hours.